What's up, Daniel? What's up?
Hey, Danielle.
What's up, guys? I got a guest on tonight. What's up?
Hey, Danielle, how you doing today?
What's up, Sid?
Mm.
What's up? Begin to tag and share. I got a guest tonight. Say hi, Gary. We got a guest tonight. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Come on in. Begin to tag and share. What's up, Kim? What's up, Damien? What's up, Miss Dorinda in Florida? What's up? Hey, guys. Come on in. Come on in. What's up, Catellis? Begin to tag and share. Invite others to come on in if you can.
What's up, Damien? How you doing?
Tag and share. Come on in, guys. Tag and share if you can. Come on in. I have a special guest on with me tonight. What's up? My master and graduate praise report. God bless you. You got your, oh, God bless you. Congratulations. Congratulations, Miss Dorinda, on your degree. Tag and share. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. I know tonight is not my special night. Glad you're feeling better. We've been praying. Yes. Hi, Kayla. What's up? Come on in, everybody. Come on in, Kim. Gary, everybody's saying they're glad that you're feeling better.
Oh, thank you all. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I thank God more than anything, and I also appreciate all the love and that I got from you all. It means a lot to me. And thank you all.
Thank you. You came out feeling great, huh, babe?
I feel great.
You feel great.
Marvelous.
You know, that's why I brought you on tonight, because I wanted to talk about, guys, you know that for the month of October, we've been talking about the promises of God. You know, all the promises of God. The things that God promised us. What's up, Jeffrey? The things that God promised us, you know. He promised us that he won't leave us or forsake us, or he won't see the righteous seed begging bread. That's what he promised us. So I know, Gary, when you went in that hospital yesterday, you held on to the promises of God. I'm quite sure in your life there's some things that God had promised you for, and you saw the manifestation of that. Is that correct?
Definitely, that is correct. One thing I can actually say about God, the God that we truly serve, is He might not be there when you need Him, but He gonna definitely be there when the time is right. And that's what I have acknowledged about God. You know, it was some eccentric moments in my life that God came, and I feel like He came at the right time. Probably not when I wanted Him to come, but when He actually came, He couldn't have picked a better time to come. And that's how I feel.
And that's how the promises of God is for us, you know. The Bible said that He promised us that He won't leave us or forsake us, or He won't see the righteous seed begging bread. You know, there's times in our lives, I'm quite sure there's times in your life, there's times in people's life, God shows up at the right time. You know, like you said, He doesn't show up when we want to, but He shows up at the right time.
And I definitely believe that.
That He shows up at the right time. What time in your life could you remember that God showed up?
Well, I can actually say when I remember, and it's quite vivid to me. I remember when I was a young child, and actually before I even encounter God divine mercy, believe it or not, I used to read scriptures on my grandmama wall, and she used to be heavenly spiritually grounded individual. And I never really understood how she dressed up, and every Sunday she went to church. And as I got a little, as I started to become throughout my adolescence, and I became a teenager, I started actually going to church myself, and I kept reading the Bible. I really could never understand the Bible because in those times how the Bible was a little bit difficult to understand back then, so opposed to how it is now. But needless to say, when I actually got a full understanding of the Bible, and I realized how miraculous God was and the things that was taking place in my life, and now I truly know as I got older why these things was taking place, because God had his hands on me. And I can truly believe that, and I can say this. Even during the time I caught COVID, I was in the hospital for 9 days. At one particular moment, I thought I was actually going to pass, because it actually took six days before my results started to turn around. And needless to say, the doctor then was saying that they didn't know what to expect. I was probably one day from the on my way up to the ICU. So believe me, I truly believe if you serve God with your heart and you believe, no matter what you go through, believe me, he's going to be there for you. That's what I believe.
The promises of God.
The promises of God.
Guys, we all could find in our lives the promises of God. The Bible talked about, you want to get the fan over there? The Bible talked about the promises of God is a yay, yay, and a not a nay, nay. We can often remind ourselves how many times he showed up with the yay, yay. How many times that he have literally brought us out when there are times that we thought that, is it over? Is he going to ever fix it? Or is he going to ever come through? Is there a God? We know he sits high and he looks low. But oftentimes we begin to say, God, are you really with us? The Bible tells us he won't leave us or forsake us, and he won't see the righteous seed begging bread. And oftentimes, sometimes I feel like I'm begging bread. Was there some moments in your life that you felt that you were begging bread?
Yeah, I must admit, needless to say, I can go on and telling you times in my life I felt like I was at God's mercy. I was, and I was praying consistently. And needless to say, it felt like he wasn't revealing his promise to me. But guess what? I stayed diligent, I stayed grounded, and I continued to believe, and I kept my faith. And needless to say, no matter what struggle that I actually went through, I always overcame that struggle with better days.
But you said 3 things, Gary. You said I stayed consistent. What else you said?
Diligent.
I stayed diligent.
And I stayed focused.
And I stayed focused. So you could be consistent but not be diligent.
True. Because a lot of times you got to distinguish, I truly believe, where your relationship with God is more important than anything. And needless to say, what God has for you, it's up for you to be receptive to it. Now, keep in mind now, and I always say this, just like we serve a loving and a merciful God, but it's a lot of demonic spirits out here. And needless to say, they hovering over a lot of different people that we encounter. And a lot of times, you got to be on deaf ears when it comes to the things that you working toward. Because there's a lot of discouragement out here. It's a lot of demonic spirits. And a lot of times, when you think God is speaking to you, he's true. It's not of God. It's something about when God speaks to you, it awakens you. It awakens you. It replenishes you spiritually. And a lot of times we feel replenished. It's a difference between being replenished spiritually and being replenished by worldly excitement. A lot of times you get those mental stimulations and that joy, and sometimes we tend to feel it's God. But a lot of times it's the devil, and some of these things are basically, some of these things distract us from truly coming closer to who we need to serve, and that's God, and replenishing our spirituality and staying consistent when it comes to praying, staying consistent when it comes to being humble in your personality, treating people, being a reflection of God, basically. And that's just how I see things.
And you're skipping to say treating people like what?
Treating people.
Because sometimes I feel we can block the promises of God through our attitude, our behavior. What would you say about that, Gary?
Well, a lot of times, needless to say, and I have encountered this a lot with a lot of people that profess to be, spiritually grounded and profess to be servants of God. But keep in mind, we are the creation of the Creator. So a lot of God ways and a lot of our ways be in conflict sometimes, because a lot of times we have cultivated our perception of the world by taking on the world ideologies. And a lot of times, and that's why I say in most cases, we tend to believe negative about people. But I kind of look at that, and it's a misconception to me, because I believe everyone has some goodness in them. Mm-hmm. No matter what they have been through in life, people have reasons to behave the way they behave. So I look at it for me and my perception of conversing with people and talking to people. I believe, you got to deal with each and everybody in a certain way, because everybody is not the same. Some people you can let in your house, and some people you better not let in your house. But it actually make them people bad individuals. So a lot of times we tend to judge people, and we as people are very judgmental. And I think judging people, a lot of times, I think those being judgmental, I believe that stops a lot of your blessings, because I truly believe God lives within us all. And a lot of times I think when you judging people negatively, it's God judging you. So a lot of times, me personally, I just try to treat everybody like I would like to be treated.
So do you find that sometimes the promises of God is not moving forward because sometimes we are judging people, or we are not?
I think we are afraid.
We're afraid, okay?
I think honestly, we as people, we are now becoming more isolated,
Yeah.
And it's actually bad to a degree. We coming closer to God, but how could you love God if you don't love God's creation? Needless to say, how could you love people and you be at a certain level in your life, but you judgmental toward people that might not be in a position that you are in?
Right.
To me, that's bad, personally. So a lot of times when I look at people personalities, I'm not perfect. I actually have evolved, and I'm constantly working on myself as a person. And being around this magnificent person sitting on the side of me, she awakened my spirit, and she keep me focused. She keep me grounded, and I love her teaching. She has so much to give, and she's so powerful, and she a little bitty woman, and she's so powerful. And sometimes I think she don't give herself enough credit. Believe me, I truly believe you all have a great pastor and a great teacher, whoever take the time to actually listen to her. That's just how I feel.
So you felt it's been a blessing to you?
Oh, beyond a blessing.
Really?
I couldn't have went nowhere in the world and been touched the way you have touched me since you've been in my life. And I'm being honest. And when I say that, and not only that, I'm talking about just your congregation alone. I can walk in her church. For those that actually haven't attended her church, believe me, I think it's work, because the love not only exists online, but you can feel the humility inside the church. You can feel the love inside the church. And that's one thing. When I first came to that church, I said to myself, man, That's a beautiful church. Inside, it's nice. It's humble. It's peaceful. The energy relaxes you. And her word, believe me, her word about for you. Like I said, this little woman right here hold a powerful punch.
You said a powerful punch, baby.
Like, this little woman right here hold a powerful punch. And sometimes I don't think she give herself credit. Truly, I believe.
Well, you know, the Lord said we must always be humble. And due season, he would exalt us. And you know, Gary, I believe like you. I believe because the fact that I was not really raised in church. You know, so a lot of time we have a lot of church tradition. You know, we see a lot of church tradition online. We see a lot of church tradition. And I'm not just cut from that cloth. I'm not cut from the cloth of being judgmental with others or being in the clique, being acknowledged by who got big names, who ain't got big names, who know who don't know. When we get to heaven, you know, God is not gonna ask, you know, who ministry you were with, what pastor covered you, or what. He's not gonna ask for that. He's not gonna ask how big your church is. He's not gonna ask how small your church is. You know, he ain't gonna ask you what Bentley you drove in, what Rolls Royce you have, what bling bling you have, how much money you gonna have in the bank. He ain't gonna ask that. He gonna want to know, are you right? You know, are you right? And I think sometimes church is painted so wrong, especially now like we got on this online stuff. It's just, you know, it's good and then it's bad. Because sometimes the way Christ is portrayed, the way the church is portrayed, sometimes can be so damaging. So people don't even think it's real. They don't even think salvation is real because they think it's just it's a joke. Who's gonna out-preach who got the biggest riff, who going through what door, who got opportunity to preach at who church, and who gonna preach for who. It doesn't matter. It ain't even about that. It ain't about who church you gonna preach at. It ain't about how much members you got. You know, it's about, are you gonna make it to heaven? You know, it's about your relationship with God. That's what it's really about. The concept of church has changed. You know, the wannabes, you know, who, you know, it's changed. And what it is I believe God allowed COVID to come so he can shake up the church. You know, he allowed COVID to come so he could shake up the church.
Well, honestly, I can concur with you. It's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to people in general. You know, I don't know why it is today, and needless to say, it discouraged me at one point in my life. You know, I know God has over the course of my life has saved me from many perilous moments, and I can't thank him enough or be grateful enough for the things he have done for me. I can't say that, and I can say for those that don't know me and never met me before, but I can actually say truly right now that I am a blessing. I am a blessing. You know, I can truly say that. I don't know if I know some of you all have heard Caron's story, and I know y'all was touched by some of the things she went through. I can say that, you know, I've been basically taking care of myself since I was 12 years old, and
wow, since you was 12 years old.
I was 12 years old.
Because I know you talked about your mother was an addict, right?
Yeah, my mom, she was on drugs. I had to provide for my little sisters, them, because I'm the oldest. So I had to provide for them at a very young age. So needless to say, I had to do what any man would do when he see his siblings not having food or the bills not being paid. So whatever it took at that time for me to do, that's what I did. But I never actually hurted anyone to do it. But I did, you know, do some illegal things. I sold little drugs.
You did drugs? You sold drugs?
I sold a little drugs, you know, coming up at a young age. You know, and I tried everything in my power to do the right thing, get my mom off drugs. But I can go on and on about this story. But needless to say, throughout life, I can say I'm grateful and I'm thankful because the Lord has spared my life. You know, a lot of people, even to this day, wasn't blessed to wake up with this air in their body and to breathe and be mobile. So we got to be grateful. And sometimes I don't care what you go through in life, and sometimes we all be down. Keep in mind, we human. God said He wasn't gonna never spare you from your struggles because that's what strengthens you. He just said, I'm gonna be there to protect you, and I'm gonna be I'm gonna be there to replenish you and keep you courageous when it comes to moving forward and believing in Him. And so long as you got that breath in your body, me personally, I'm gonna keep pushing forward, and I'm gonna keep my head up high, and I'm gonna thank God.
So Gary, how did you felt like, seeing the manifestation of the promises of God, knowing that you was 12 years old, you were living in the streets, you had to go make a life to take care of your family, you was a drug dealer, right? Did you do prison time?
I did,
You did prison time. You did prison time. So you know what it is to be in jail. You know what it is to be locked up in prison. And today, your life is not the same. So what can you say to those brothers that's online that may be saying, I have to go out there and sell drugs to make provision for themselves? What would you say?
At one time, I can actually say at one time in my life.
And you also told me a lot about those jail stories you've been through.
Of course.
Like, how many the times you did and how you had to bust up a couple of kids in jail and you told me how you survived. How did you survive?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Just tell a little story about when you had to serve time.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little glimpse.
Okay, give me a little glimpse. Let the audience know a little glimpse. Because they got to know that. They got to know that church ain't. They got to know that we become from something. Definitely. And we're here today because, we're not talking about the church raising in the church tradition. We're talking about people that's been on drugs, people that used to be in the street from they was 12, that sold drugs to survive. I'm talking about this kind of people. We're not talking about let's sugarcoat this church thing. Oh, no. We're talking about real life story to help people to change their lives.
I can say this, and I'm going to be honest, I can go back to, being a little bitty boy and being on the street corners at 12 years old. I could, the reason what led me to the streets, my grandfather used to work construction. My mama, and needless to say, my mama was on drugs bad. My 3 siblings and me was living with my grandmama. But that's what led me actually to the streets. My granddad worked construction. He got hurt on the job. He was paralyzed. And every day, needless to say, I used to sneak $100 and put on my grandmama's counter.
Wow!
In the bedroom, between $50 and $100 I put every day because I knew my grandma.
And how old you was at that time?
I was 12 years.
12 years old. I was taking care of his grandmother. 12 years old.
So, and as time got a little, as I got a little older, we became bigger and bigger and bigger in the game, and honestly, it led to my incarceration. Over the course of time, I probably did close to 70. Probably like close to 18 years of my life.
What?
Locked up.
Gary said he did 18 years in prison. Did y'all hear that?
About 18
Wait a minute.
years.
Did y'all hear that? He said he did 18 years in prison.
And believe me, I had some difficult times. I maintained. I even watched out for people when I was incarcerated.
Wow.
I survived. I always, for some apparent reason, throughout those struggles, I believe that no matter what I go through, and I tell Caron this today, I believe in my God. Even at times, she being a pastor, and sometimes if I sense some doubt in her, I tell her the same thing. Do you believe in your God?
Yes.
If you believe in your God, don't worry about when it's going to happen. All you got to do is maintain and stay focused. It could happen. Because God is a miracle.
So Gary, how did God keep you for 18 years? What did you do?
Well,
I mean, for 18 years you had no freedom. How did you survive that?
Well, honestly, I remember I was watching TV one time, and I heard the judge tell somebody, I think it was cops or something, and the guy was on TV.
They said they can't hear you. Go ahead.
And the guy was on. They can't hear me.
Go ahead. She said, "Go ahead."
And the guy was on TV, and the actual guy, the judge told the guy. The guy told the judge that, man, I don't think I'm able to do all that time.
What?
So the judge told him pretty much.
Well, how much time they try to give you, Gary?
35 years.
They try to give him 35 years. Gary, do you want to tell them your testimony that how you were almost given 35 years, but then they was reversed?
Well, they what happened was, Caron.
You gonna help somebody. Ain't no shame in my game.
Well,
because to me, salvation is true.
Salvation is
God
true.
is true.
Well,
okay.
I give praise and I give glory to Obama.
Yes.
Obama more than anything. Obama, when he came in office, he changed some laws, and those laws actually helped me in many ways. He gave us it dropped my sentence tremendously. And that's the reason why I'm free today. But needless to say, I continue to believe, despite of me going through it, I never.
So what would you say, Gary, to them young guys that's listening to me right now that want fast money?
Well,
that feel that they're not making enough money, because right now you own your own business.
Definitely.
Right? You own your own business. We run your company. You own your own business. But what would you say to those young guys that wants a fast way, that wants to make that quick money? What would you say to them?
Well, me personally, I can say that I understand how you feel, and I understand with the way of the world today, a lot of things that you see today, and a lot of this is manipulating to a certain aspect, because a lot of times people went through something to get where they at. Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, if you stay focused and you commit yourself to your own personal aspirations and believe in time that everything you work toward is going to manifest, and it's going to be right when the time is right. You don't never have to rush life. Long as you planning for tomorrow and you staying focused, your results going to produce everything that you wish and hope for. And I'm a living proof of that. Since I've been home, haven't even thought about doing nothing illegal. Every now and then I bump a stop sign. I'm not gonna lie. I bump a stop sign. I bump a stop sign, never crossed my mind, despite of my struggles. I stayed consistent. I stayed in them books. I had multiple hustles. I prepared myself before I came home.
Because when you came home, you became this big entrepreneur.
Well,
you were
I was doing real
estate. You did real estate.
I was doing credit.
You did credit. You did so many things.
I did stocks.
And you became an entrepreneur, man. You do stocks. You do a house. You do everything. You're the man that does everything.
Well, like I said.
And this is what we need to let these young people know. There's a way to survive instead of going out there selling drugs.
Of course, it's numerous ways. Like I tell you, it's online now. You all got the biggest advantage today at any time. I know a lot of you all feel that you need it now. You need that immediate gratification, but I truly believe what come fast, leave fast. And what you really need in life is patience. Life ain't forever. So if you don't do nothing else with your life, learn to value your time and use it wisely, because that's one thing you can never get back. A lot of people are miserable and hurt. It's not, and you see a lot of the anger in their personality is because a lot of people are unhappy, because you wouldn't believe how many people in this world feel like they haven't accomplished the things that they want to accomplish in their life. But to accept where you at in your life and who you is as a person, that's what truly determines your divine spirit, and that's what truly cultivate a humble personality.
So my question is to you, Gary, what are some of the survival tools that you used when you were in there? What I mean, because I know quite sure your mind was wandering things. Now you come out, you're such a person, you have so much patience. You have a lot more patience than I do. And when I see the patience in you, you know, what should we teach our young men about patience?
Well, patience is virtue. I know you done heard this before.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me. And one thing, keep in mind, you can't never get back what you lose. You could never get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And life is not forever. And we all strive truly for finer things in our life, and we all strive for the American dream. But everybody's not going to be rich. Everybody's not going to have $1 million houses.
Mm-hmm.
But that don't necessarily mean that you can't be the one that have it. But you have to be determined, you got to be open, and you got to work toward it. And you got to find your niche in your life. And that's through error. But truly believe, if you don't take your time and be patient and stay focused and realize it's gonna come, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes in your life, and you're gonna create more pain than you create happiness in your life. And so I say this to you, one thing for certain: before anybody can believe in you,
but
you
Gary,
got to believe in yourself.
What would you say to somebody, because even when you were out there and you was this big time drug dealer and you lived a fabulous life, because you know you own many houses, you drive what you wanted to drive, you were living that life, right? But now you still be able to drive what you want to drive and live where you want to live. Well, so we got to tell the young people that's not the way.
No, it's definitely not the way. Like I say, you just got to find your niche. If you whatever you enjoy doing, just cultivate that craft, work hard, stay focused, and remember, in time, it's going to manifest itself. Everything that you expected, everything that you want, and everything that you thought you needed is going to come. Just be patient. I truly believe.
The Bible does say, they that wait upon the Lord, he shall renew their strength. They shall mount up as the eagle, and they shall walk and not faint. We're glad to have you tonight. I hope you guys just really enjoyed Gary's testimony, and he's just a living witness that God lives, and God is who he said he is. Somebody said cultivate word had to be a patient. Yes, you gotta have patience. He that begun a good work in you shall perform it to the day of Jesus Christ. I believe that God is performing on somebody today. We may not see it. We don't know how it's going to get done. But I believe God is working on somebody. Do you believe that, Gary?
Truly.
That God is working on somebody.
He's working on me. I believe
he works on us every day.
He's working on all of us. I truly believe.
He works on all of us.
All of us.
And listen, always remember, saints, never be ashamed of your past. It's your past that what God brought you out of is going to help somebody else. I'm never ashamed to say, you know what? I used to be on drugs years ago, right? Gary ain't ashamed to say, guess what? I did prison term, but now I'm with Christ. When you get to the point that you forget God, where he brought you from, it's a problem. You should never be ashamed to tell what you've been through in life, because it's going to help somebody else. Sometimes we don't want to tell everybody our story, because sometimes you think people may look down upon you. Who cares what people think? You know where you're at right now, and you know what God did for you. And if he could do it for you, he could do it for somebody else. There might be somebody, young boy right now watching us. He may not be a Christian. He may not be saved. And he's got his life trying to do something he shouldn't be doing. Right? God has had us to come on tonight to talk about what life could end up, because you want the easy way out. You want the fame. You want the fast money. Because like you said, sometimes young people are out there to go hustle and to gain money real quick, because they left the responsibility that they have to take care of their family. You know, sometimes the mothers be on drugs, the father be on drugs, and certain people in their lives, it's not straightened out. They don't come from a Christian background. That's why it don't bother me to tell it, because I don't come from a Christian background either. And they're going to tell the truth. They're going to tell about the goodness of the Lord so it can help somebody else. Our job, Gary, am I correct, is to help somebody else. Everything you went through, it was to help somebody else.
Of course. I truly believe that. I think God allowed me to exist in these days is to touch somebody and to give my testimony. And I hope that it reaches somebody and somebody acknowledge that and give themselves a chance. That's all I can say.
Because there's such thing as a second chance.
It's a second chance, of course. It's always a chance. It's up to the individual. But sometimes.
Well, you always used to sought God. You told me you used to go and pray to God.
Oh yeah, I pray every day. Whatever I do, you know, when I'm in my car, I ask God to ride with me. If I'm in my truck, I'm driving, I ask God to ride with me. Whatever I'm doing, I always ask God to ride with me, and I feel safe. So if something happens, no matter what, I know I'm in a good place because I know who I'm riding with.
Yes.
Because when Pastor Caron ain't with me, my wife ain't with me, that's who I'm riding with. God, He got me. No matter what.
Well, He got you when I'm with you too, babe.
Yeah, definitely. But you my angel.
I'm your angel?
Yeah.
How I'm your angel?
Well, you know, that's what I believe that.
he called me his angel. Oh, Lord. Well, guys, I hope you're enjoying this fast. We're definitely enjoying this fast. We're going to be on tomorrow, 6 a.m. for Zoom. We're not going to be in the building. I can't go in the building because I don't have a babysitter. And who knows that I have guardianship of my mom. And this is my week. We rotate. And I thought I was able to go to the building, but I wasn't. So I want to still stay committed to my commitment. So I'll be there on tomorrow at 6 a.m. If this was a blessing to you guys, and you enjoyed Gary's testimony, and you enjoyed the time that we had to talk about it, I need everybody tonight to take a $22.50 seed. Say, Pastor, I am going to plant this seed because I heard the promises of God. How many people today is going to be in agreement with me? All I need is 25 people. Say, Pastor, I'm going to plant a seed of $22.50. You may be on Instagram. You may be on Facebook. This is your moment and this is your opportunity to plant $22.50. Say, Pastor, I am planting. The Bible said, give and it shall be given. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, and men shall give into your bosom. How many people are in agreement with me tonight? How many people in agreement with me tonight? Say, Pastor, I am planted into the promises of God. $22.50. Say, it's done. Sarah, thank you. It's done. Come on, I need 25 people to say, Pastor, I'm with you with this seed of $22.50. Come on, say, it's done. Come on, say, it's done. I had Gary to tell his testimony because we've been teaching on the promises of God. And I wanted you to see somebody with an awesome testimony on what God had done for them. The promises of God. Miles Morton said, it's done. Thank you. Thank you. Come on, there's 25 more of you. Come on, with a $22.50 seed. Come on. It's 25 more. You say, it's done. It's going to, I know what you heard tonight was a blessing for your soul. Pastor, I'm giving $22.50. Thank you. There's somebody else. Come on, that's 3. I know there's 25 people. You know one thing about Pastor, I'm going to come with the real deal. You know, when I come, I'm going to come with the real deal. I can't sugarcoat this thing. Oshia Misha said $22.50. Thank you. God bless you. Who else going to plant that $22.50? Come on, say, Pastor, you know when I come, I got to come with the real deal. Tanya, thank you, Tanya, $22.50. I'm going to come with the real deal. You know, Pastor, she ain't going to marry nobody with no sugarcoating. Jackie Johnson says she's due $22.50.
And let me be honest. Let me be honest with you all. I didn't know I was coming.
You didn't know you were coming?
no testimony.
He didn't know he was coming to get no testimony.
I just gave you all a glimpse. I didn't even give my testimony. I don't really call that giving my testimony.
Well, we thank you, Gary, because I tell you, it's to help somebody. Thank you, Jackie. Come on, it's 25 more of you. You know, Gary, I wanted them to know about the promises of God. You know, because sometimes they may look at you. Somebody say, I'm giving 25. Thank you. Sometimes some people could look at the outer appearance of somebody and be like, what's the link for the Zoom? Jackie, we'll make sure you'll get it. We'll make sure we send it to you in your mail, your DM. We're coming on tomorrow at 6 a.m. So, you know, I brought Gary on because, you know, I'm so tired of this church fake stuff. You know, I want real hardcore stuff, you know. I'm so tired of the fake stuff. I'm tired of the pretending, like, you know. Bring on some people that got some raw story, you know, to say that God is who He said He is, you know. Yeah. And I believe that, you know, from my background, for what I've been through in life, and how God delivered me from drugs, and how God brought me out, you know. And then now God gave me somebody that been through something that we can identify that how real God is, you know. You know, sometimes people with Christianity, you know, they paint this religious thing like, you know, like God is not even real because of the fakeness and the playing around. And we want to hear real testimonies. We want to hear people that been through something and still standing, you know, and still alive to live to say it. Am I correct, Gary? Still alive to live to say it. There's some more you, come on. There's some more you. Yes, that's always happened. The church needs to drop the stigma of judgment. That's right, Kayla. Kayla said that, that's always happened. The church needs to stop. Yes, stop the judgmental. Come on, let's deal with some real life stuff. You know, let's stop trying to code stuff like salvation is easy, you know. It's the real deal, y'all. Come on. We want to deal with the real deal. We want to deal with people that been to the fire. You know, we want to deal with people that been to the flood. And we want to know, how did you survive this? You know, how did you get through this? You know, what gave you the ability to overcome what you went through? You know, that's what we really want to hear. You know, we want to hear miracles. We want to hear the hand of God. We want to see the hand of God, you know. I know there's some more of you. Come on, say, Pastor, I'm touch and agree with you with 2250. Come on, 2250. Come on. The Bible said, give and it shall be given. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together. At the bottom of the screen, you can cash app, $ rejoice in the word, ATL. Or you can go to our Zelle at info@rejoiceintheword.org. Or you can go to our P.O. Box. Thank you, Vivine. Another 2250. Thank you, Yvine. Come on, there's 20 more of you. I brought Gary here to tell his story. And it was not even planned.
No, it wasn't even planned.
It wasn't
you
even planned.
me.
Stan, thank you, Catellis. And I surprised you.
You surprised
because
me.
I knew you had a story. And I didn't know when you was going to ever be comfortable. But I knew somebody need to hear your story, you know? Somebody, if you can survive 18 years of prison and look at the man that you are today, big time drug dealer, own houses and cars and, you know, got bested by the FBI, and look at you now. You're a business owner. You own your own business. There's a young man listening that's saying to himself, you know, I can do this too. You know, what gave you the tools to survive? You know, sometimes people don't have the tools to survive because they don't know Christ. You said every time you went through, you always talked to God. You were off with 35 years. God turned it around and made you had a short time. You got a story.
Yeah, I can't say.
So we're getting ready to close out. What would you want to say to the young man? And there's young men listening right now, Gary. Well, the promises of God we're talking about.
Well, I think, needless to say, a lot of times with the younger guys today, a lot of them, they see these rappers and these different personas, Everybody want to, the money, the nice cars, the finer clothes, the designer clothes. And a lot of them, in most cases, some, but they be rebuttal toward their mom. And a lot of times, I can say this. Your mom speak and father speak to you out of love. And whether you acknowledge it now or feel it later. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of things they tell you, I truly believe if I would have had a mama to express to me when I truly needed, because the streets raised me. I didn't have no mama, and I never knew who my daddy was. So the streets raised me. When I tell you the streets raised me, the streets raised me. And I'm going to be honest with you. And it was a lot of good times I had. And I'm not going to lie. I was young. I was witty. I moved fast. I was very observative. I was taught by a lot of old guys, keep your mouth closed. So I kept my ear to the ground. I knew how to move at a young age. And a lot of people didn't have that talent. I'm not going to say talent. A lot of people didn't have that wittiness about them. Even from when I was young, before that, I remember the times when I didn't have nothing. I used to have to go up to grocery stores and cut old people bags for money and cut grass. I was always a hustler at 5 or 6 years old because wasn't nobody giving me nothing. But I had to still go back and do some things. I went back, got my GED, went to college and all that. So I'm going to tell you this. Believe me, no matter what you do today, if you're not doing the right thing, it's not going to last anyway. So a lot of the guys that I saw doing the right thing, believe me, it wouldn't be for the mercy of God. I would be on the corner somewhere to this day or somewhere dead. But I watched a lot of them guys, they living their American dream now. And a lot of the guys I knew back then, 80% of them doing bad and got strung out on drugs and alcoholics now. So think about it.
And dead as well.
And dead. So if you really think about it, only probably 20% of us made it. And I thank God I was one of them. And I'm still fighting every day now. It ain't over with now. The struggle still exists.
I don't think it leads to we leave the earth.
But I tell Caron all the time when she said, when you stand some more. And believe me, and that's how I truly feel. I'm gonna keep standing to the end of time. But I know at the end of the day, if I keep showing God my love, maybe He'll have mercy on me when it comes down to my day when it's my time. And that's all I ask for.
Amen. We're getting to go because I got to get up at 6 in the morning. Don't forget, I need at least 20 of you to plan 2250. Gary, we want to say thank you for coming on tonight and letting the world know that the promises of God is still working today, yesterday, and forevermore. Thank you.
Thank you.
For encouraging somebody. Amen. I love you guys. Don't forget, see you tomorrow on Zoom at 6 a.m. God bless you. Peace out. Don't forget, 2250. Let Gary know. Encourage Gary with a seed.
Thank you all. I
and
appreciate
let Gary know. Gary, we thank you for sharing your testimony because he would have never shared if I didn't push him. Pastor, I don't care. I'm going to tell it because guess what? I give God the glory for everything that He brought us through. He gets glory. He gets praise. Anything that makes God get glory. That's all. He said, testify. Amen. Love you guys. Peace out. See you tomorrow at 6. Peace.